This research facility belongs to the iconic Japanese vehicle manufacturer Honda.
どこまで外す？いや、もうこれ後ろ全部剥がしちゃおうかと。
The car undergoing air resistance testing in this wind tunnel is one of a new generation of electric vehicles, or EVs.
EV 車になって床下の形状は F1 に近いフラットな形状になりました。 EV 車においても世界一を取りたい。
Honda, long renowned for the quality of its internal combustion engines, has announced a drastic change in business strategy. That is to scrap the conventional powertrain to stake its survival on EVs.
EV、FCV の販売比率を2040年にはグローバルで 100% を目指します。
Globally, the auto industry is undergoing a rapid switch to electric vehicle technology. Calls for a low-emissions, carbon-neutral economy have been growing louder than ever.
To be able to have a chance to curb global warming, the car industry has to stop selling new cars with internal combustion engine by 2030.
In a bid to lead the shift to electric mobility, the EU has proposed a policy to ban the sale of new gasoline and diesel-powered vehicles by 2035. A move that has come as a wake-up call to Japanese automakers. Worldwide EV market share has seen Japan's automotive giants trailing in the wake of other global brands. A major Japanese vehicle component maker is already partnering with China's fast-growing electric vehicle manufacturers.
ちゃんと対応します。このままね、世界の EV の流れが続いていって、日本だけ取り残されると、唯一残された自動車産業も危うくなるという危機感もある。
Toyota, the world's largest car manufacturer in terms of units sold, is also investing heavily in electrification. Yet the company takes a more cautionary approach to radical change.
EV 化すれば全て済むというのは間違ってます。いわば産業をどう構造変化していくかというね、難しい話があると思います。
In what's been dubbed the EV shift, automobile manufacturers are scrambling to replace gasoline and diesel vehicles with battery-powered models as they bet on the future of transport. Amidst the greatest upheaval to the industry in over a century, we turn our lens on how Japan's car makers are riding the wave of change. Europe has emerged as a firm leader in the shift to fully electric vehicles. France is one country ramping up the momentum. In 2020, sales of battery electric vehicles in France topped 110,000 units, more than double the previous year, with customers typically paying in the $35,000 range for a new electric car. A government-subsidized program to smooth the transition allows for purchase incentives and trade-in bonuses, which combined can top $12,000. EV charging points are also being installed at a frenetic pace. Public and private charging points combined now total more than 600,000 nationwide, with roadside facilities such as this one costing as little as 60 cents for 15 minutes.
Ah oui, clairement, oui, ça devient très pratique. Puis de toute façon, c'est l'avenir, l'électrique. D'ici 2030, on ne pourra plus rouler en thermique. Donc il faut s'y préparer.
Supported by government investment, European car makers are committing to replacing their product lineup with EVs over the coming decade or so. In September 2021, manufacturers displayed their newest models at one of the world's largest motor shows. One of the powerhouses showcasing its latest offerings was Mercedes-Benz. The German automaker has announced it will switch its entire lineup to electric by 2030.
This car is the first.
The brand unveiled a range of new electric models, from sedans to SUVs.
So we created something, and it became the new standard, and people liked it. It's making sure we are in control. And we change the future, and we build the future, and we create the future.
One manufacturer in particular was turning heads at the motor show. French automaker Renault is a pioneer in affordability in the EV market. At the Munich Motor Show, Renault unveiled a brand new electric model slated to go on sale in 2022. The car features a cruising range some 20% longer than previous models, covering up to 470 kilometers on a single charge. The engineer responsible is Jean-Paul Drey. It took his team 5 years to develop the model, with help from his peers at Nissan, Renault's Japanese alliance partner.
It's the right moment to go to electric car. It's the right moment because now we have a vehicle with good autonomy. 470 kilometers of autonomy is quite a lot.
Drey gave us a special tour of a research facility normally off-limits to outsiders.
We are now entering a very special area.
Engineers are applying the finishing touches to the new model introduced at the motor show.
Ici, on a le temps restant de charge. Ici, l'état de charge de la batterie et l'autonomie associée pour le client.
The display shows battery status while the vehicle is recharging. The battery represents the very heart of an EV. EVs are mechanically very different from their internal combustion engine counterparts, which emit carbon dioxide as they burn through diesel or gasoline. Propulsion in an EV depends on electricity stored in the battery, which drives a motor to produce thrust. EVs don't emit CO2 while running, but their cruising range is often more limited than that of the average internal combustion engine vehicle. Extending range has been a key challenge for manufacturers. Renault's success in significantly prolonging cruising range is down to ongoing improvements to battery technology. Today showed us one of the battery packs from their latest EV.
So we can have a battery pack of 110 millimeter, which is a benchmark in the market. Zoe, and you see...
Despite being 40% smaller than its previous battery models, its energy density has been increased by 20%. Just 30 minutes hooked up to a fast charger yields some 300 kilometers in range, a twofold improvement. Such performance is made possible through a revamped chemical makeup, combined with careful regulation of battery temperature. Renault regularly collects data from the 320,000 or so EVs it has sold to date. The detailed information its engineers receive daily allows them to analyze what factors affect battery performance, including localized weather and temperature conditions. Drey explains that such feedback helped them identify ways to improve efficiency, including warming the battery in cold weather and cooling it in hot weather. As it continues to push the boundaries of the technology, Renault's goal is to have EVs account for 100% of its new car sales in Europe by 2030.
And you can see that the body of the vehicle is not moving a lot.
すごくこう地面に張り付くようなこう安定感があるのはすごく実感できますね。
Renault's quantum shift to EV is receiving strong support from the French government. In June 2021, French President Emmanuel Macron visited Renault's largest EV production facility. The firm announced plans for a high-capacity Chinese-owned battery plant to be built on its premises that will secure supplies for EV manufacture into the future. Subsidies for the project will come from both the central and local governments, totaling some $220 million in all. Combining public and corporate investment, France is scrambling to boost its EV production capacity.
C'est d'aller vers justement de plus en plus de véhicules électriques, mais en faisant ça, de faire de l'industrie en France et de créer de l'emploi industriel en France. Et il n'y a aucune fatalité.
Rapidly evolving EU environmental standards are leaving Japanese brands struggling to stay competitive where they were once trendsetters in hybrid tech. In July 2021, the European Commission proposed an effective ban on sales of new diesel and gasoline-powered vehicles, including hybrids, by 2035. If implemented, car makers will be allowed to sell only zero-emissions models, such as EVs or hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. The move raises the stakes for the industry. Renault chairman Jean-Dominique Senard believes the changing laws and public-private initiatives being seen in the EU are essential steps that will be mirrored globally.
You must be absolutely sure that regulations that we are now facing in Europe will come rather quickly in other countries of the world. Now, people are conscious in the government, in the private sector, the public sector, that something has to be done to make sure that the industry comes back in our countries. The electric vehicle strategy is what will bring us back on track, I would say, within the global world of the automotive.
Total global battery electric vehicle ownership today stands at some 6.85 million vehicles. This is projected to balloon to 138 million by 2030. The EV market stands on the verge of anticipated explosive growth. Holding a clear head start is Tesla, a company fully specialized in electric since its inception. The U.S. automaker leaves its rivals trailing. In 2020 alone, it sold close to 460,000 EVs, more than 4 times as many as Renault. The U.S. government has committed to building a network of 500,000 charging stations across the country. $7.5 billion of its new $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill will go to the project. President Biden has set a target that by 2030, half of all cars sold in the U.S. will be electric vehicles.
The future of the automobile industry that is electric. Battery electric, plug-in hybrid electric, fuel cell electric. It's electric, and there's no turning back.
Meanwhile, China's automakers are striving to catch up with Tesla. China is already the world's largest EV market. In 2020, it recorded 1.1 million new EV sales. That's 1 in every 2 EVs sold in the world. China's current top-selling EV is a uniquely affordable model starting at just $4,500.